At the absolute bottom of the North Atlantic Ocean, beneath 12,600 feet of freezing, pitch-black water, lies the most famous shipwreck in human history. Over a century has passed since that terrifying night in April 1912, when the gigantic ocean liner violently sank, dragging over 1,500 souls into the abyss. In the decades since, human engineering has achieved miracles. Yet, despite having advanced deep water submersibles and massive heavy lifting technology, the Titanic remains trapped. With billions of dollars in modern funding available, it begs a chilling question. Why not simply bring the legendary ship back to the surface? Why leave the ultimate maritime artifact to be slowly devoured by the ocean? Welcome back to Sunken Inside. Today, we dive deep into the impossible physics, the horrifying deep-sea biology, and the dark truth of why the Titanic is trapped forever. The desperate desire to raise the Titanic began literally weeks after the tragedy. Grieving millionaire families seriously discussed funding a massive recovery operation to raise the hull and recover the lost bodies of their loved ones. But the extreme depths of the Atlantic were unforgiving, and it quickly became clear that the engineering of 1912 was entirely useless against the deep ocean. Soon, the exact location of the wreck became a lost mystery. For 73 years, the magnificent ship slept completely undisturbed in the suffocating darkness, while fantastic rescue projects were proposed, but none ever materialized. It wasn't until 1985 that an expedition led by Robert Ballard finally pierced the deep-sea gloom, a mission that was actually a cover for a secret Navy operation. When underwater cameras finally swept over the haunting deck, researchers in the control room froze in absolute awe as the massive bow emerged from the darkness like a silent, rusting ghost. But the overwhelming joy of discovery quickly turned into a disturbing realization. The official story from 1912 was a complete lie. The Titanic had not sunk gracefully in one intact piece. The ship had violently torn itself apart at the surface, creating a horrific debris field with the two main halves separated by nearly 2,000 feet. But even with that terrifying knowledge, ambitious entrepreneurs immediately began proposing the wildest ideas to raise the relatively intact bow section. To understand why every single rescue project failed, you must understand the crushing, alien reality of an ocean depth of 3,800 meters. The simplest idea, discussed as early as 1914, was to pump compressed air directly into the hull to create artificial buoyancy and float it. But at a depth of almost 4 kilometers, the physics are incredibly deadly. To expel water from those deep compartments requires unbelievable pressure, needing to overcome 400 atmospheres of deep-sea pressure, equivalent to a 4-ton heavy truck resting on every square centimeter of the hull. Any unprotected hose or pipe sent down to pump the air would be instantly crushed flat by the sheer weight of the ocean water. So, engineers pivoted to brute force. In the 1990s, the Walt Disney Company considered a project using gigantic floating mechanical cranes to wrap the massive hull in heavy steel cables and slowly pull it up to the surface over several days. But they severely underestimated the sheer, immovable dead weight of the Titanic. Even completely empty, the waterlogged hull weighs tens of thousands of tons. Combined with extreme water resistance and decades of thick, accumulated ocean silt burying the keel, the upward strain is mathematically impossible. No mechanical crane on the planet could lift such a colossal load from that extreme depth without the massive steel lifting cables violently snapping. And even if a super cable magically survived the tension, pulling the ship upward through the water column would be a catastrophic mistake. Deep water is totally calm, but surface ocean currents are incredibly violent. The rising hull fragment would swing, spin wildly, and crash against its own cables. Refusing to give up, other enthusiasts proposed highly unconventional methods. One idea was to pump millions of hollow plastic polypropylene balls into the wreck, theorizing that millions of lightweight balls would create immense internal buoyancy. But delivering them into the pitch-black compartments was practically impossible, and manufacturing tiny plastic spheres strong enough to survive the crushing deep-sea pressure would cost significantly more than the ship itself. Another engineer suggested freezing the ocean water around the Titanic using liquid nitrogen, turning the entire wreck into a giant, buoyant ice cube. Practically, the sheer amount of nitrogen needed would exceed the budget of a small country. More importantly, the drastic temperature shock would be fatal, as the extreme, sudden cold would instantly shatter the fragile, century-old steel wreckage into thousands of tiny, unrecognizable pieces of scrap metal. So, if lifting the whole ship is physically impossible, why not cut the hull into smaller sections and raise them one by one? The answer to that question forced even the most desperate billionaires to abandon their plans, and it starts with the horrifying fate of the stern. While the bow glided down through the water column relatively smoothly, equalizing pressure as it flooded, the back half suffered a brutal, violent death. The stern housed the cavernous cargo holds, the massive third-class passenger quarters, and the vast engineering spaces. Because of their massive size, these enormous rooms were filled with pockets of trapped air when the stern plunged beneath the waves. As the back half sank deeper and deeper into the abyss, the immense, crushing water pressure violently squeezed the steel hull from all sides. Those trapped air pockets could not withstand the extreme weight. In a fraction of a second, the entire back half of the Titanic catastrophically imploded. The sheer force of the ocean crushed heavy steel bulkheads like tin cans, violently tearing the ship inside out in a terrifying underwater shockwave. Heavy machinery, massive boilers, and personal belongings were violently scattered across miles of the silty, dark ocean floor. Today, the stern is a mangled, chaotic heap of accordion-crushed decks and shredded, unrecognizable metal melting into the mud. It is absolutely impossible to salvage because there is barely anything structurally intact left to attach a cable to. It remains an abstract disaster zone. But the terrifying reality is that the beautifully preserved bow section is secretly facing the exact same fate, just through a microscopic process. When the Titanic sank, its massive steel skeleton was exposed to corrosive deep-sea saltwater, but the problem lies deep within the metal itself. Early 20th century steel was smelted with a very high sulfur content, which makes the metal extremely brittle in the freezing temperatures of the North Atlantic. Today, the legendary hull is completely degraded, leaving the thick steel plates as fragile and delicate as dry puff pastry. If a salvage team tried to attach a heavy lifting cable to the intact bow, the rusted metal would simply shatter and crumble under its own weight. The ultimate, unbeatable enemy preventing the salvage is not just the brittle steel or the monstrous water pressure. It is a massive, silent army of deep-sea microorganisms that are currently devouring the ship in the darkness. Colonies of a unique, iron-eating bacteria called Halomonas titanicae thrive in the pitch-black water, feeding directly on the ship's metallic structure. They consume the steel, creating long, extremely fragile rust formations that marine scientists call rusticles. These bright orange rusticles hang from the bulkheads and decks like grotesque icicles, sometimes growing up to a meter long. They might look solid, but a slight touch from an ROV's robotic arm turns them instantly into a cloud of fine red dust. These microscopic organisms are literally eating the Titanic alive. Across the entire hull, they destroy up to 400 pounds of structural iron every single day, actively turning the once mighty ocean liner into a highly porous, extremely fragile skeleton that is slowly collapsing in on itself. In recent years, high-resolution deep-sea cameras have revealed shocking devastation. The once majestic bow is now beginning to resemble a collapsing house of cards. In 2019, deep-sea explorers approached the wreck and were appalled to find that the legendary starboard railing, famous from photographs, had completely fallen away. The captain's bathtub, once a highly visible and iconic landmark on the upper decks, is now buried under completely collapsed roofing. The structural integrity of the upper decks is permanently gone, leading scientists to a grim, undeniable conclusion. The Titanic cannot be salvaged, not as a whole ship, not with massive cranes, and not even in small, carefully cut pieces. However, modern deep-sea technology has found one final way to preserve the ship and bring it back to land without ever touching the fragile steel. In 2022, a deep-sea mapping company successfully created a perfect, highly detailed digital twin of the entire Titanic wreck site. Unmanned submersibles spent over 200 grueling hours in the darkness, capturing more than 700,000 high-resolution photographs of the debris field. This massive data project generated a complete 3D digital model of the wreck with 1mm precision, entirely removing the dark water and allowing historians to explore the ship in haunting clarity. But comparing this new digital model to archival footage revealed a shocking, grim timeline. In just the last 30 years, the bow section has lost a massive 20% of its total mass to the iron-eating bacteria. Experts estimate that by the mid-21st century, the recognizable shape of the Titanic will completely collapse into the ocean floor, becoming nothing more than a massive, unrecognizable pile of rusted scrap, entirely reclaimed by the natural environment. And even if human engineering could somehow overcome the physics, the pressure, the extreme depth, and the microscopic bacteria, one final barrier remains: the law. The Titanic lies in international waters, but the haunting wreck site is protected by strict international diplomatic treaties signed by multiple nations, legally recognizing and protecting it as a sacred maritime memorial. Extracting hull fragments for commercial purposes is strictly forbidden, and obtaining permits for physical scientific research is virtually impossible today. Because the hull is so fragile, any physical intervention or salvage attempt is legally considered a desecration of a mass grave. So, why is the Titanic still resting exactly where it sank over 110 years ago? The answer goes far beyond the billions of dollars required. Physical salvage is simply scientifically impossible. The metal has been devoured by nature, the stern is annihilated, and the bow is crumbling into dust. The Titanic will remain on the desolate ocean floor as a dark monument to human hubris, and a silent, rusting warning for future generations. It can never be preserved inside a bright, dry museum hall. It belongs to the extreme deep, where it is slowly, inexorably returning to the earth. If you want to continue exploring the terrifying truths and dark secrets hidden at the bottom of the ocean, make sure to subscribe to Sunken Inside. Hit the bell icon so you never miss a dive, and leave a comment below on what sunken maritime mystery we should explore next. Thank you for joining us in the dark abyss. We will see you in the next deep sea adventure.